Well, I've been baking for years. It was something that when I was a kid, I always liked baking with my mom, and cookies were always the thing that really just drew me in. And so over the years, I had been developing recipes, and when I was on my own, I just started baking like crazy and coming up with all these crazy wild flavors that I had never heard or found anywhere else. And that was kind of my passion project, was coming up with really fun, innovative flavors of cookies, and it was always just a hobby for me, and it was something that blossomed into something just so cool. Well, if it weren't for the urging of my friends, I probably would have never done this. Honestly, my friends used to come over and I would push cookies onto them so that I wouldn't eat the whole batch myself, and then they all just started saying, you have to start selling these. And you know, I've always been pretty modest about it, and so I would say, no, why would I sell these? It's something that I just love to do. And that kind of became my aha moment, where I thought, wow, I could definitely do something that I love and make money at doing it. So I started it out of my apartment, and I had been working for a marketing firm at the time, so I thought if I could market somebody else's product, I could probably do it for myself. And so I just slowly started building the brand through social media and word of mouth, and all my friends just helped get the word out as fast as possible, and the business just exploded so quickly out of my 400 square foot apartment. And within a year, I had people interested in investing and getting me into this awesome place. Schmackary was my nickname in high school. People used to call me Zachary Schmackary. My name is Zachary Schhmahl, so you know, drop down, flip it, and reverse it. And then when I started baking out of the house, I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I have to come up with a company name. So when I started playing with names, Schmackary came out, and then I started saying lips schmacking good, and then the thought of even flavors that were s'mores or schmackaroons, and calling the different sizes different things like schmals. It was then, you know, the entendre for the names just started flowing, and it just ended up being the perfect name that was lying right under my nose. I started doing this in February of 2011, and then just slowly started building it. I officially became Schmackarys in probably March or April of 2011, and then a year later we opened up the store here, and now Schmackarys is a staple. It's bigger than I ever expected it to be. I'm so proud, and I feel like I'm doing something that I love every single day, and it's just getting better and better every single day. And the fact that people come in every day and see what we're doing, and that it is different, and that we aren't just another cookie store. We're doing something special, and I thought that something like Broadway Bakes was exactly forwarding our purpose of getting our name out there, and also doing something for a good cause, and reaching back and giving back to the community that we're in, and that has been receiving us so well from the very beginning. And so I thought that it just meshed so perfectly, and Broadway Cares has been nothing but supportive before and after the event. So I love giving back to the Broadway community, because they have supported us since day one. Well, my first love was acting. It was something that was the reason that I came to New York originally, and so those were the people that I knew when I first started baking cookies. And a lot of my friends were actors, and once I had actually teamed up with the Actors Fund. They were the first charity that I sort of helped out with, and it was a way to get me into the theater so that people started hearing the name. And when I opened up here, it was just, before I knew it, all the Broadway community just started walking in through the door, and it became that place, without me even trying, that the groupies would come to see Broadway stars, and it was like, are we becoming the Cookie of Broadway? And that just kind of ended up, it was a joke that started getting thrown around, and before long it was like, no, Schmackarys equals Broadway. It was the cookie that is served on Broadway. And we even started working with some concessions companies, so our cookies are sold in some of the Broadway houses, and it's really odd that we have no real connection, and yet we are so close to the Broadway community. And I think that, you know, I don't understand why more businesses haven't done that. You know, that in our neighborhood, we're so close to the Broadway community, and you could use them as your allies so much, and so many companies aren't doing that, you know. And I said, we're in this neighborhood, why wouldn't we reach out to the Broadway community and, you know, and try to help out as much as we can, and also, you know, give back and do things for the Broadway community, because people are in this neighborhood, and, you know, that's so much of this neighborhood's heart, and the heartbeat of the neighborhood is the Broadway community. And so, you know, why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? A few. I've geeked out a few times, I would say. You know, it always makes my heart beat a little bit when Andrea Martin comes in. So you know, and but these people, it's strange anymore. I feel like they have become friends. You know, people that I've looked up to my entire life, I'm now calling my colleagues and my friends. You know, and to get to know them on a first name basis and have them come in and say, "Hey Zach, how are you doing?" It is also surreal. You know, the fact that these people who have earned my respect since I was a little kid, I feel like we're now colleagues, and I can consider most of these people friends. And even through Broadway Bakes, some of these people I've looked up to for so long, and it was so hard not to geek out. And then when I saw that they're just normal people, and that we connect on just a friendship level, it's really neat. It's really neat, and it makes me feel like somebody who moved here for, you know, my dream was to be on Broadway someday, and I feel like I've made it on Broadway in a very unconventional way. I do feel like I've made it on Broadway because I always wanted to earn the respect and praise from my peers and from the people in that community, and that's what has happened in a very odd way. So it's a lot of fun. Oh, I don't know if I want to call anybody out. I will say that the cast of Pippin, they love our shop, and you know what? I think that they earn it on a nightly basis. All those tricks and things like that, they need to fill up on some cookies after that show. So I would say they're probably our most frequent customers on Broadway.